Wow, this video was way overdue. I'm being serious. So, I guess I'll get started with explaining why. So, anyways, what happened was that 3 months ago, in like the month of June, what happened was that I was visiting my cousin for her graduation. So then, my second cousin, she goes up to me and asks if I asked her what happened to the Dreamcast they had, and then they said it was upstairs. So then they went upstairs, searched for it, and found it. And she basically said that she had no use for it, so I could have it in all the games for free, basically. So yeah, I have all the games right here. And here's the Dreamcast right here. Pretty old, but it's still working. Here's the controller. Yeah, it's still working too. I've always found the design of the Dreamcast controller pretty awkward. I mean, like the little wire that connects the controller right down to the port. It's awkwardly placed. I mean, like I'd rather have it up here. Maybe I don't know where the memory slots would go, but I don't know. So, anyways, we have a whole host of games, and I really should have done this video 3 months ago in June when I got all the stuff that came with it. I also have a second Dreamcast controller up there in my drawer, but I'm not going to get it because what's the point in even getting it? So, anyways, let's showcase the games, and half of these games I haven't even played. So, let's get into my little booklet. So, first up is Quake 3 Arena. Now, here's the thing though, the servers for this game probably got shut off a long time ago. But I played it with the bots, and it was fun. Since the Dreamcast lacks a second analog stick, which is for camera control, you have to use the buttons right here in order to move the camera. The game was pretty okay and all that stuff. I wonder what it would have been like. When did it come out? I think it came out in the late 90s. But anyways, I wonder what it would have been like to play online against others back in the day. So the second game we have up is oh god, holding it wrong. Tomb Raider and the Last Revelation. I'm getting it wrong already. So this game, it's actually my first time playing a Tomb Raider game. I mean, like, I was gonna get the 2013 Tomb Raider back during when I was on vacation at my dad's house, which is where I shot all my videos at, for anyone wondering. But yeah, this game, it's pretty solid. It could use some work, but all in all, it was pretty good for the time, and I had a blast with it. All right, next one is House of the Dead 2. If I can get alright, House of the Dead 2, and it's a light gun shooter as always. Nothing much to say about it. It's the typical House of the Dead formula where you're fighting a bunch of zombies in a light gun kind of affair. But yeah, not too much to say about it. Alright, next we have is a game that's pretty slick and solid. Next up is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I actually had an absolute blast with this game. It was awesome. I was inputting all kinds of button combinations just to pull off some kind of crazy trick I'd never even thought of before, so I could score more points. Because that's kind of the point of any Tony Hawk or skateboarding game in general. So yeah, this was an absolute blast. And fun fact, it was also made by Treyarch, the same guy. Oh yeah, and I think it was published by Activision. Yeah, it was published by Activision. It has the logo on it. But yeah, it was made by Treyarch, the same guys behind the Call of Duty games. I'm not a big Call of Duty fan by any standards. I only have like 2 games in the franchise, but actually 3 games, which is like I have Modern Warfare 1, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2, and that's it. But yeah, just something to let you guys know. Next up is Hydro Thunder. It's a boat racing game, pretty fast and slick. I only played this game like for 10 minutes and then I shut it off. The reason why is because I got bored of it quickly. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just didn't get the feel of it. However, I tried it out this past weekend and it was an absolute blast. pretty fun, you know, pretty standard stuff for a racing game. It's only, except you're using like motor boats and all that stuff. My stepbrother has actually played this game from what I've heard from him. So yeah. Next up is the first game I actually played on this. I actually played when I got this thing when I got this whole console 3 months ago. Maken X. So Maken X is a first-person shooter. Well, actually, no. Maken X is a first-person action game, mainly because the reason why I say action game instead of shooter is because, well, you're mainly using melee weapons and stuff. So yeah, so the story is pretty complicated. It's also the game was also made by my favorite company. I mean, one of my favorite gaming companies ever, which is Atlas. They're the guys who made one of my favorite franchises in gaming history, the Shin Megami Tensei series, which is down there. You can't see my DS collection, but yeah, it's down there. Anyways, back to the game. Maken X is a first-person action game in which you're controlling a whole cast of characters. You're either riding on the back of something or on your 2 feet. You start off the game, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but you start off the game wielding a katana or some kind of thing. You also get life orbs, I think. Not life orbs, it's some kind of, it acts as experience, it makes you kind of stronger. Well, yeah. Story is pretty complex, and even as of me making this, I can't explain it. Okay, like you have, like, maybe if I look it up on Wikipedia or something, I could probably explain it to you guys or get the gist of it. Okay, and let me put it back to my little CD booklet. Okay. What's next? Hold on. Alright, I did that. Okay. So yeah, next up is... well, I have not touched this game at all. I can't say much about it. I haven't played this game yet. I don't know why I didn't. So I'm going to play this game after uploading this video. This game is called Rippin' Riders. You can't see it's called Rippin' Riders Snowboarding. You can't see the text because, well, it's one of those silver discs where you can, like, see everything. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I have no experience with the game. Yeah. Okay, let's see what is up next, because I lost my page. Pretty frustrating. Okay. Okay, next one. You guys are going to love me for this one. All right, you ready? You know I'm ready. All right, here goes. Resident Evil 2. So I've been a fan of the Resident Evil franchise since like 2007 when I played Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation 2. And that game was pretty nerve-wracking, if you ask me. I mean, especially with that guy with the chainsaw that, like, one-shots you. But anyways, we're not talking about that. Resident Evil 2, it takes... I don't know when it takes place, but you play as... oh, man. I forgot her name. Oh, yeah, you play as... Her last name is Redfield. I forgot her name. Nice. I forgot her first name. Anyways, I think she, like, she gets into a police car with Leon Kennedy. They crash, and yeah. Anyways... so, basically, the controls could use some work. If the Dreamcast controller had a second analog stick, maybe down here, then this game would have worked a little bit better. Well, as a matter of fact, there's no camera control at all, so that would kind of defeat the purpose of having a second analog stick, but still. If you've talked to anyone that's played Resident Evil 2, they'll tell you that the first time they played the game, they got destroyed automatically because of the controls. Mainly because you don't know which direction to move the character in. So if you move like one direction, Clara will move the... I mean, not Clara. I think her name is Clara? Not Clara Redfield. I don't know. I need to look this up. I should have... wow. Anyways... so, yeah, if you move in one direction, Redfield will move in some other foreign direction. I don't know. And then, like, it'll result in you either running into zombies or just... I guess that's all. Anyways, aside from that, the game and the story is pretty good. it's standard survival horror stuff where you have an inventory, your flashlight, your pistol, and little fun fact: this game also came out on the PlayStation, I think PlayStation 1 or 2. I came ill prepared. Anyways, one cool thing about this game is that on this Dreamcast version, on the Dreamcast version, what it'll do is it'll tell you how much ammo you have on this little screen right here. So basically, you could just look down instead of like not mashing, but just like hitting the same button over and over again just to check your inventory. So, for example, it'll tell you how much ammo. It'll also tell you how much health you have too. Like it'll say either your health is high, something else, and then it'll say danger, which means you're basically dead. Well, almost dead. So yeah, pretty good game. Standard and slick survival horror game. Good sequel to Resident Evil 1. And I love it. Okay. Next up is Roadsters, and again, it suffered the same fate as Rip'n Riders Snowboarding. I have not played this, and I'll try to play it. Okay, if I can get this back into the booklet. There we go. Alright. Next up is Silent Scope. Great, I lost my page again. Alright, next up is Silent Scope, made by Konami, before they went downhill. Silent Scope is a first-person shooter game where you're controlling mainly a sniper. It's kind of like a Sniper... what was it called? Sniper Elite, I think? It was... oh my god, I'm messing up. Anyways, it also reminds me of Sniper Ghost Warrior, which came out on previous generation consoles. The game's not that good. I'm gonna be honest. It's not that good. Alright, next we have MDK2. So, oh man, I should not be holding it like that. MDK2. It was made by Interplay, and I believe that it's the same. Actually, no, I think they were published by. It was published by Interplay. It was made by BioWare, the same guys behind the Mass Effect and Dragon Age games. And I think, what was some other game? Oh yeah, BioWare was also responsible for the for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR for short. Pretty solid games, but we're going to be talking about MDK here for a second. It's a third-person shooter game. I completely forgot the story. It's not that complex though. Pretty slick shooting. Love the story. You have to get into it. Yeah. All right. So, guys, I have a bit of bad news here. Okay. So, I know you guys were all expecting this. I have some bitter news. So, this is Sonic Adventure, but here's the thing, though. It's broke. Like, I tried cleaning the disc and everything. It won't. The Dreamcast won't read the disc at all. I tried everything. I tried everything. I had high hopes for it too, because I swear I remember playing it at my cousin's house before they gave me this Dreamcast. I remember playing it many years ago before they gave me this Dreamcast. I was wow. Oh my goodness. So yeah. Up next we have Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I believe it's it may be the first installment to the Rainbow Six series. Franchise. Well, I have played it before, only briefly. It just wasn't doing it for me though. So yeah. Okay, we're moving on. I think I may have missed something. No, I didn't. Okay. So this is. Oh my god! Again, lost my page. So this is NFL. Oh god, NFL Blitz. So I'm not really into sports games and all that. I played this game and it really wasn't suiting me. Yeah, but I'm just gonna keep it just for the sake of things. So yeah, we're pretty short-lived. Okay. I probably should jump cut. Okay. Oh man, we're wow. Oh man, this game was pretty awesome. Ready to rumble boxing. Oh my god. So yeah, Ready to Rumble boxing. It's a pretty standard boxing game. You got the throws. I mean, not throws. You got the hooks, the jabs, and all that stuff. Pretty standard stuff, and it reminds me of Fight Night. Well, not too much. It doesn't remind me too much of Fight Night, but man, I really don't know what to say about this game. It's pretty good though. I played it for like 30 minutes. Okay. So the next game, I totally stumbled over this. I don't know why I did. Jet Grind Radio. So this game, oh my god. Oh man, it has that attitude of like any game, well not any game in the 90s, but some games in the 90s or some TV shows. It's basically like just carefree, rebellious and all that stuff. This is Jet Grind Radio. I think so. It's about, I don't know the story, but you're basically on these skates and all that stuff, and you're going around spraying graffiti on objects. I played a few minutes of it before going to test out some other games. I was only trying to see if the games worked. And let's see what else we have here. Oh man. Alright, this game here. This game might have started the trend of Capcom versus any fighting game company or franchise. So yeah, here we go. This is Capcom versus SNK. So basically it has characters from Capcom's fighting games, which is Street Fighter, which I have back there, which is basically Street Fighter, and I guess that's it. That's their flagship fighting game. Street Fighter V was pretty garbage. I'm gonna be honest. That is actually the first time I've ever said that about any Street Fighter game ever. Street Fighter V was garbage. Okay? Back to this game. So SNK, I don't know where these characters come from. I know they're from a company of the same name, which is SNK, but I wonder if they come from some obscure RPG that I've never heard of. But I'll have to look into that after I'm done recording this video. I actually have a lot to research after recording this video. So yeah, it's a lot on my hands. And okay, we're coming up to the end. Next here is Namco Museum. It's a port of most of Namco's most famous arcade games, such as Dig Dug, Pac-Man. What else does it have? I'm trying to remember. I actually had something like this on my Game Boy Advance many years ago. I used to play Pac-Man a lot. There was also this racing game that Namco made. I would often lose in it, and my sister, she would just show me how to play, and I'd still be garbage in it, basically. So yeah, it's a port of most of Namco's famous arcade games. Oh yeah, and it also has Galaga on there. My dad, from all the stories he's told me, he was a huge Galaga junkie back in the day. He liked to go to the arcade after school or whenever he had some free time to go and play Galaga. And he's told me many stories about how he's been to the arcades and all that stuff. And personally, I've actually experienced arcades myself many years ago. Unfortunately, the only arcades we had, well, not unfortunately, but I wish there were more. But basically, the only arcades we have access to are basically like party places like Chuck E. Cheese or Dave & Buster's, stuff like that. However, I just want to see like arcades make a return. Next is Crazy Taxi. This is a port. This is a port of the arcade game of the same name. Basically, what your objective here is to go and pick up passengers and get them to a certain destination within a certain span of time. The thing with this, oh god, I almost dropped it. The thing with the console port of Crazy Taxi is that you can also select certain settings for how you want to play. Maybe you want to play. Maybe you want to play on 5 minutes. Maybe you want to play in 10 minutes. You know, give yourself some time there. You know, practice. So pretty cool stuff, and it's also one of the few, believe it or not, it's also one of the few retro games I've seen that has you accelerate a vehicle with a trigger, like in most modern games. Because most modern racing games, they'll let you use a trigger to accelerate a vehicle. And Saints Row 2, yeah, believe it or not, Saints Row 2, it actually gives you the option to switch to these kinds of driving controls to trigger, to basically use the trigger to accelerate. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I did not know that. It's probably the only game in my, only retro game in my collection to have that. Alright, so we are coming to an end here. I left this game in the Dreamcast because I was playing, this disc in the Dreamcast because I was playing it heavily. Alright, this is, I wanted to save this one for the last. It's my favorite game to play on the Dreamcast, or games. This is the Sega Smash Pack. Now, before I get to start talking about all the things I loved about it, here's what I really hated about it. First off, tell me why this port of all of Sega's greatest hits have terrible sound effects. Like, they don't sound exactly how the game sounded as if they were on a Sega Genesis or some other kind of device that can play Sega games. Why is that? I played Sonic the Hedgehog and the sound design was abysmal. Why? Like, really, man? It was that easy. Port a whole bunch of your famous games to disc. That is it. You didn't need to mess up the sound, or, well, I guess I'll cut him some slack. Porting games wasn't that easy, but still, I've seen other games released around the time of the Dreamcast, ported without any problems with the sound effects and stuff. All right, my ranting is over. Anyways, we're going. So basically, this is like the Namco Museum. This disc has all of Sega, well, not all of Sega's, but some of Sega's most famous and beloved games ever. It has Shining Force, which is a tactical RPG. It has the first Sonic the Hedgehog game. It has Golden Axe, and my dad has also told me stories about how he and his friends would go to the arcades and play Golden Axe on co-op with each other and try to beat the game. As a matter of fact, I think he's even told me that he like saved up on quarters that he got from like accumulating change from like spending money. Like, you know how you get like change when you spend like over the actual cost. That's how he was like saving quarters. So yeah, he would often save up quarters for from what he told me, he would often like save up quarters and stuff just so he can go to the arcade with his friends and co-op on Golden Axe. My brother and I, we back 5 years ago in the year of 2011, we co-opted through Golden Axe and we beat the game by ourselves. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. So it also has games like what else did it have? There's this one game, I forgot the name of it. It's kind of like Tetris, except it functions sort of differently. I really forgot the name of it now. It also has Phantasy Star, one of Sega. It was one of Phantasy Star basically paved the way for other JRPGs at the time, because in the 90s that was basically a good time for that was basically the prime for JRPGs, especially games like Final Fantasy VII, which came out on the PlayStation 1. And speaking of Final Fantasy VII, I don't mean to go off on a tangent here. I was in Ohio not very recently, but a few months ago I was in Ohio, and my cousin, she lives next to a game store that sells both retro games and modern games, and I spotted Final Fantasy VII being sold for like $10. Pretty cheap. However, here's the sad part. I could not get it. I didn't have my money on me. I didn't think to get my money on me. And to make things worse, it was also Friday Night Magic, and I did not bother bringing my Magic the Gathering cards so I could play against at least one player and all that stuff. But maybe one day when I drop by there, I'm going to get Final Fantasy VII, and I also spotted the first Metal Gear Solid, which came out on PlayStation 1. So when I'm there next time, I'll swing by and pick those two games up, and yeah, I'll be on my way. Okay, so I'm going to, I guess the game I enjoyed playing the most on the Sega Smash Pack was Shining Force, mainly because I love the tactical RPG genre because of all the planning and strategy that goes into placing your units and deciding who they should and shouldn't attack, and all that stuff. That's why I love Fire Emblem. That's why I love the Devil Survivor games. Yeah, speaking. Oh yeah, but anyways, that's why I love the Devil Survivor games and all that stuff. And funny enough, I actually had Shining Force on my Game Boy Advance back in 2004, and it was it was called Shining Force and the Resurrection of, I think it was Resurrection of the Dark Dragon. Someone correct me on that. But anyways, basically I played that before I played before I played the original version. And even then, the sound design is terrible because I played the original Shining Force like years after I played the Game Boy Advance port, and I realized how better the sound is than it is on this disc. Like, was the sound design unfinished? Like, what was it? Oh yeah. As a side note, they also have Altered Beast, which is a side-scrolling beat 'em up, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm glad I got to share with you guys my whole lineup of games that I got back in June. It's just that I wish I could have talked about it. I wish I could have talked about it sooner, but it really slipped my mind, basically. So here's one last look at the Dreamcast I got, and I have to say thank you for giving. Oh God, what are they doing? Oh, sorry, I just heard door slam. Anyways. So yeah, I say thank you to my cousins for giving me this Dreamcast and all the stuff that came with it. Really appreciate it. So anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this whole video. Leave a like. Tell me what you thought of all the games that I got, and I hope to see you next time.